Let me quickly welcome our eminent guest tonight from Islamabad. I am joined by Tariq Azim, former Information Minister, and I'm also joined by Marshal Shahzad Chaudhary. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Leela Ponnappa, former Deputy National Security Advisor, is also joined tonight by former Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan, G. Parthasarathy, and Union Minister Farooq Abdullah is also joining us tonight. Maruf, thanks for coming. First question to you, Dr. Abdullah. What has Pakistan done, in your view, to deserve a whole special session on Kashmir and Kashmir alone?
Well, look, there are a number of issues that have to be sorted out with that country. I don't think we should worry about the rhetorics that Mr. Gilani made in POK of Bhutto's 1,000-day war. These are things they say to keep their people together. They have an election coming in that place, so they have to win votes. These are slogans they will continue to use. But one of the things which is vital, we have to settle the problems between two neighbors to live in peace. This is what Vajpayee ji tried to do when he went all the way to Lahore. We suffered the Kargil war, but we still stood on this framework that talks should be held. Unfortunately, Mumbai incident came. Terror has been one of our major talking points, not only with Pakistan, but the entire world. Wherever we go, we talk of terror, because this terror is not going to only affect us, this terror is going to affect the entire world. And thus, it is vitally important for us to realize that terror cannot go out of the subject. When they discuss Kashmir, but terror will be part of that discussion also. So let us not rule that out.
Doctor,
but talks will have to take place. They'll have to discuss the matters, and let us hope that sense will dawn on our neighbor that continuing hostility is not going to build a better and a future for Pakistan and its people, and it's going to create tragedies in the subcontinent.
I want to get an immediate response from Islamabad tonight, first to what you have said, because I'm not sure, Dr. Abdullah, if from the Pakistani side they share the sentiment that if you discuss Kashmir, then terror will also naturally be a part of it. Just lost the link there with Islamabad. Let me go to Mr. G. Parthasarathy. Do you think, Mr. Parthasarathy, we can safely make that assumption that if we are talking Kashmir, then terror will be combined with it, cross-border terror?
First, let me say that I am completely opposed not to having dialogue with Pakistan, but the process we have embarked upon. This composite dialogue process we are involved in was premised on Pakistan fulfilling its assurance that it will not allow territory under its control to be used for terrorism. Mumbai clearly demonstrated that they were not prepared to do so. And now it's gone even further. You find Osama bin Laden hidden up in Abbottabad. So they're not going to do it. Now, should you talk to Pakistan or not? Yeah, you've got to talk to any neighbor. But the question is how those talks should be fashioned. I have no problem in discussing Kashmir with Pakistan. We have nothing to hide. We have a strong case. And in any case, considerable progress was made in the back channel talks, and also on confidence building measures across the line of control over the past 5 or 6 years, as Dr. Abdullah says, from Mr. Vajpayee's time. But I'm afraid you cannot have talks in a political vacuum.
Absolutely.
Yesterday you had the Prime Minister of Pakistan repeating talk of a 1,000-year war. He seems to have forgotten that after Mr. Bhutto made that statement, they landed themselves in a war in Bangladesh, and one knows the results. Similarly, just before Kargil, President, then General Zia Musharraf, said that even if Kashmir is resolved, low-intensity conflict with India will continue. You had Kargil, and Pakistan paid the consequences. So what I'm saying is, and also if you go through the Pew Global reports, you find that a vast majority of Pakistanis share a very hostile impression of India. Now, if Mr. Gilani keeps making such statement, it's only vitiates the political atmosphere. I do not think the talks tomorrow are going to be Kashmir-centric, even if you go through the composite dialogue format. It includes peace and security, including Kashmir. Now, surely Pakistan can't take the position that terrorism is not a part of peace and security. So, yes, all this will figure. Pakistan will say what it wants. We will say what it wants.
Well,
but what I am saying is, rhetoric like a 1,000-year war.
Well,
for God's sake, in the 21st century, when Pakistan is already virtually at war with the United States, which keeps sending its helicopters into that country and drones into that country, get real.
okay.
If Pakistan doesn't get real, the consequences will be faced by Pakistan.
So
We should go ahead and try our best. But I don't see this dialogue being totally Kashmir-centric.
whenever dialogues
Say
have
what it
become Kashmir-centric, especially like in Agra, they have failed. Therefore, may I please now invite, I lost the link with you earlier, gentlemen, Air Marshal Shehzad Chaudhary first and then Tariq Azim. Please do respond to the points of view you've heard here. This Kashmir session, there is a view here that it's not really a special Kashmir session. I don't know what sense you share. But the atmospherics before it don't seem to set the stage for any conducive progress at all. Is this only to satisfy your domestic lobbies before the elections? Air Marshal, would you like to take that first?
Yeah, I don't think there is a matter of much excitement here even in Pakistan in terms of the Foreign Secretary's visit to Pakistan. It's a good omen in the sense that the two countries continue to talk. It's a process, and I don't think anything positive will come out of this particular event of a meeting that's taking place over these 2 days. But let me just go back to some of the points that were made by the two earlier speakers, especially Mr. Partha Sathi. I think this effort is aimed at developing that political climate whereby the two countries can hopefully move along towards solving and resolving some of these intractable issues. Now, we've got to keep in mind that there are three issues that are really intractable. We got to look at terrorism, we got to look at Kashmir, and we look at the water issue. That sort of a highlight or that sort of a spotlight, but I think very soon it will. And once when you have these three areas, it becomes a very intractable. But having said this, you come down to a slightly lower set of issues which are very much doable in terms of visa, in terms of the CBMs, in terms of peace and security.
What about the Kashmir session? What about the Kashmir session? Is it a waste of time, really, in the present situation? Because both the statements from Pakistan and the history of inaction on 26/11 and terror are not going to allow any progress. You can have a photo up tomorrow.
Look,
Air
the
Marshal.
point.
That's the most you'll get.
Yeah, the point here is that very much Pakistan has a given stance as far as Kashmir is concerned. India has a given stance on Kashmir. There has been a positive movement forward in the last 4 to 5 years. I think the bigger issue for India today would be how to resurrect the 4-point formula that General Musharraf put up in terms of the back channel. I think that should be a bigger concern in terms of how to resurrect that, how to move on from that point onwards, rather than stalling the entire process. And I don't think India as a state actually worries about it as much.
No. Well, I think your impression of what India is worried about as a state, I want to get Leela Ponnappa to respond to this. First of all, Leela Ponnappa, there's no special session on terror. There is no movement on 26/11. Even the Judicial Commission that Pakistan promised it has not acted on. Therefore, what is this special session on Kashmir all about?
Well, I think both the Pakistan Prime Minister's statement yesterday and the apparent structuring of the talks are indications of Pakistan's lack of seriousness, quite frankly. Because the whole objective in these official level talks and the Foreign Secretary's talks are at the end of a series of other official engagements are really to focus within the realm of the doable. Now, Pakistan is very well aware of India's thinking on Kashmir, and in fact during the earlier discussions I was reminded of a similar happening sometime way back in the 70s when there was a visit that we had in Pakistan, and suddenly out of the blue the leader of the Pakistan delegation said, "Shall we tell the press we discuss Kashmir?" and the leader of the Indian delegation, I'm not going to go into details, said, what about Kashmir? Where do you want to start from? And so on. So I agree with Partha. We should never be hesitant to talk about things, but assuming that both sides are serious. India, we certainly know is
but
serious,
what-
but Pakistan's behavior, even in the past couple of
No.
days, raises questions.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, I think the business of diplomacy is to talk. Let us try to
but
identify
about
the
what?
areas of convergence. I wouldn't agree
No, but
with
it's-
our
this is-
Pakistan guest
let's
that
be very direct.
facilitation of visas or trade
No,
are what he termed as lower level issues. In fact, I think they directly impact
Ms.
people
Ponnappa.
and are of high priority.
Ms.
And as for resurrecting the 4 points of Musharraf, excuse me, it is for Pakistan to do. It is not for India.
Well, I don't know, but you know, with Dr. Abdullah, we assume, before I come to you, Tariq Azim, I want to get Dr. Abdullah again. Maruf, just coming to you. What do you discuss? Are you there to discuss just for the sake of it? Tell me, Dr. Abdullah, is your government going to pick up phase demilitarization, maximum self-governance, joint supervision by India and Pakistan, and softening of the LOC? At a time when you heard L.K. Advani say today that if there is any concession on Kashmir, there will be a greater national movement against it. We will stand and oppose it. You don't have a political consensus. Can your government risk that backlash?
Well, I think let's be very clear about one thing.
Yes.
For years we've been suffering. Time has come when both the nations will have to grab this bull by its horns and come to some sort of an agreement without territorial shift of the territories. We'll have to find a solution whereby we can live in peace. Now look, we had recently talks on Sechin. They said, all right, we have discussed and we will look into it again. Then again they had a meeting on the waters. They said, okay, we will now again look. We have to tell them, look, for God's sake, we're not going to take the water away from you. The water will come to you, which the 3 rivers are that has been given. But we in Jammu and Kashmir have to also survive. We will have to have projects on it, which will give us electricity for our people.
So where's the movement?
Where do we go?
What's the point of movement? I'm not.
So the movement has to be made. Movement has to be made for getting an understanding whereby both the nations can live with honor and peace.
The softening of the LOC.
Now,
Let's be
I told
specific.
you, and none of you agree. Sometimes political rhetorics are made, like Advani ji said, oh, we are going to go like this and do like this. Well, let him answer me. 10 months they kept the soldiers on the slopes of Jammu and Kashmir hills. What did they do? Did they get anywhere?
But I'm asking you, where the specifics?
War
Forget
is
the
not a
rhetoric.
solution
Dr.
except
Abdullah.
dialogue.
So-
Dialogue is the only way forward.
Dr. Abdullah, surely dialogue
We
is
may
the
not
way.
iron out everything.
No, but dialogue
We
can't
will
be
not
a photo.
iron out.
Dialogue can't be a photo op. It can't be a photo
We
op.
cannot iron out everything of 60 years.
No,
but
but-
at least we can move little forward.
No, but there's a background, Dr.
Some basis forward.
Okay, now I want to go to Tariq Azim. Movement forward, nobody is being specific tonight. Tariq Azim, suggest something specific. Last time when India included the word Baluchistan in the joint statement, now Pakistan is very happy, you've delinked terror from the composite dialogue process, you have a session on Kashmir. But where is the movement forward? On which point of specificity is there a movement forward?
Mr. Goswami, the movement will be there and we will move forward if we not concentrate on the negatives and look at the positives that are coming out of these dialogues. If you think that by not discussing Kashmir will go away, it will not go away. Everybody understand that. It helps Pakistan, it also helps India. Dialogue always helps. We have to end this position of ours, and I'm sorry, every time I come on your program,
Yes.
we have the same people on your side and they take this hawkish attitude. Every time there is a debate here in Pakistan or in India, whenever there is a dialogue, we have the same position taken by some people in India to ruin this dialogue. I agree with Dr. Abdullah that unless we discuss things, how are we going to resolve them?
Tariq Azim Saab, I don't know. I think Leela Ponnappa, G. Patsati are both proponents of dialogue. Let me get Maruf in. The idea is what is the specificity?
Can I add to what Tariq Azim said?
Go ahead.
Can I add in?
Go ahead, there, Marshal. Then I'll get Maruf in. Yes.
We just had an exclusive session of talks on terrorism by the Home Secretaries. And I think that went very well actually. There's been a progress forward in terms of how to move along those lines. Now there are legal issues which are actually holding on to as far as 2611 is concerned. I think it would have been best
No.
had we had a joint investigation team, had we had a mechanism whereby both sides could have joined hands immediately out of Mumbai
Yes.
and been able to work on it together. India opted out of this arrangement.
Marshal.
And therefore, you really have a situation where you're not talking at the government level on this particular issue.
Marshal.
But let me say that I think Nirupama and all your other country leaders, I think national leaders are very much aware. As far as the oppositions are concerned, they will say what they have to. Mr. Advani went on the air and said what he did. But really, does that indicate or influence the government position? No, it doesn't.
No,
And Pakistanis understand that very well.
Sure, but-
so let's look at the positive.
Yes.
As Mr. Tariq Azim said, and we need to move on the
So
positive.
one positive point, Air Marshal Maruf, I'll let you get you in. One positive, Air Marshal, I'd like to point you spoke about the Foreign Secretary talks. I think the biggest outcome you forgot. The biggest outcome of the Home Secretary level talks in March was the visit from Islamabad by a proposed judicial commission to interview the magistrate who had recorded the confessional statements of Ajmal Amir Kasaf as well as the 2611 investigating officer. We haven't heard a word. That was a positive outcome. People felt it's positive. After that, Pakistan went silent. That's the backdrop. As Neera Ponappa said, G. Patsad said, this doesn't happen in a vacuum. Maruf, is this being looked at too negatively? What do you think?
Arnab, see, when the government of India goes to talk to Pakistan, we assume that they represent the people of India's opinion. I don't think there is much consensus, neither there is much support in India right now